Hello and welcome to the Animation Kimmunication podcast, your source for discussion about animation, film, fandom, and more. So please join our host, I Love Kim Possible a Lot, or KP, and Riddle of Lightning, Riddle or Josh, for today's discussion. If you like what you hear, please remember to show support by giving a like, follow, as well as subscribing to the main I Love Kim Possible a Lot channel on YouTube. Spread the word, and thank you for being part of our community. This episode is appropriate for all ages.
Welcome to Animation Communication, your source of animation, fandom. This is your host, Riddle of Lightning, along with I Love Kim Possible a Lot. And we're joined here today with Kothorix, and today's episode will be how to survive the internet. This is, I think, an important topic for people that want to be involved in the internet, and we have two people, in fact, who have extensive experience with the internet, and so how to interact with your audience online. And after that, we might deviate into talking about art, learning by yourself, being inside artist versus an outside artist, and how to survive on the internet through those means as well. So any information about you, Kothorix? What's your background online?
I chronically say stupid things, and that get me in trouble. That's my internet past.
Well, you're a YouTuber as well, is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so real past. Yeah. Oh, I made a lot of YouTube videos. About 5 years back, I think, was when it was like the height of when I was making videos. And I've just pretty much been streaming since then.
Right. Now you've gone to streaming. You've tried to rebrand in the past, and now you are a YouTube streamer.
The only person on YouTube that's streaming, yes.
The only YouTuber. That's right. Which is it better to be streaming now? How does it feel to be a streamer versus, sitting down, making content, and then waiting for, that kind of response online?
Well, streaming is easier and it makes more money, so why not do it?
Why not do it? Yeah. I see a lot of like old YouTubers, like, you have your Oni and going into Oni Plays, you got your Ego Raptor doing the Game Grumps. So I see. No, and that's not really streaming, but they're now streaming.
Yeah, well, Let's Plays are kind of the same idea.
Let's Plays are kind of the same idea, but then they devolved into streaming. Even like Channel Awesome, the really legacy people are now doing streaming and now to fill it in time, and it seems to be what people are really morphing into. But I'm kind of deviating. So KP, what do you think about streaming?
I guess I gotta start streaming more often is what I learned so far.
We'll do you a learn. We got to figure out how to do the whole setup where someone pushes a button and it appears on the screen and you make the...
Yeah, we've done in the past, but it doesn't have any live feed linked to the OBS output or whatever, and we got to find someone who knows how to do that.
Do you still have your blue dragon go raw each time someone subscribes, Kothorix?
Let me think here. I think I have more of just a normal thing, like a little money chime, but I still have my little dragon pop up when people sub or donate or whatever.
Yeah, I like your little blue dragon. Like it's more of a not so much of an avatar, but just like a mascot now these days, right?
I guess. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So we should talk about some news, some things that happened this week. So what happened this week is something big happened. The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Died this week. Katsuku Takahashi. Well, I probably butchered the pronunciation of the name. I'm very sorry. Died at 60. His body was found while he was snorkeling. It was very...
Is it known what he died of yet?
Probably water in the lung.
Yeah.
That's...
He could have had a heart attack while he was swimming.
That is true. His body was found with his t-shirt. He had his underwater snorkel on, and he's wearing swimming fins. I don't know if he was murdered. We don't know. We don't have the autopsy yet. But all we know, he was found dead.
We don't have the audacity
yet. Yes. So we don't know exactly what happened. But he was the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is like the 23rd biggest media franchise on the planet. which is
Really?
Exactly the 23rd.
yeah, which is kind of surprising. Like they beat out like the Peanuts and the Simpsons.
The Peanuts.
Yeah, the Peanuts. No, not that.
Oh,
like
Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Oh,
Like Snoopy.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
You said the
Yeah.
Peanuts. Like, what?
The-
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even...
No, the
Wait,
food.
but that's not saying much. I mean, who cares about peanuts in this?
Yeah, no one does, but like this is like.
Don't be mean.
But the
You know,
Peanuts had a
you
long
know,
run. Yu-Gi-Oh's only been around since like
Let me tell you. There's a doctor that I know. When I went to her office, not only is her whole office just Peanuts themed, but she has a Snoopy tattoo on her arm, and I was just like, wow, that's a lot.
But that's like
So
from the 80s or something, or probably earlier, isn't it?
No, they're still making content. They're still making new stuff for Apple Plus
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Okay.
yeah, so no, I can agree with you, Kothorix, that Peanuts are not relevant today. But back in the day, like Peanuts and Garfield and these really legacy things were kind of big for a time in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but Garfield is still like, people know Garfield
People do know Garfield, yes.
still today. It's
But
mostly
people
memed on, but
yeah.
it's still popular.
That's
Yeah,
because
but that's
of
yeah,
the
fine.
memes,
That's what keeps
though,
things relevant
I
these
think.
days is memes.
Yep. But relevancy doesn't really make money, as we can see with the Morbius films.
I guess not.
and they're big failing. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh, when it comes to like making of the manga, like it wasn't initially about card games. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I've seen season 0.
Yeah, season 0. So like at the very end of the season, they do what was Wizards and Magic. That's what
Yeah,
the
they
name of the
played
card
D&D.
game was.
With
It was like a mix of D&D and Magic the Gathering. That's really was the inspiration for that.
Bakura. Yeah, D&D with Bakura as the dungeon master. Well, if you die in D&D, you die in real life.
That's how D&D works. So you play D&D?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone knows that. If you lose in D&D, you die
Well,
in
if
real
you,
life.
according to Christian parents, if you play D&D, then you murder people in real life.
The Peeper.
The peeper.
Oh, that's all about the satanic panic, and we might see that again coming up with how crazy things are now.
I mean, it's people panic about different things.
That's true.
Doesn't need to be
That's a big
about
truth.
Satan. It's about whatever thing is relevant, whatever thing people are told to be afraid of. They just are afraid of and freak out.
Listen to the man in the box.
The man in the box. Yeah, the man in the box told them to be afraid.
Yeah, but they'll probably be relevant later when we talk about herd mentality. That's going to be kind of fun.
Oh boy.
In other news, the Minions: Rise of Gru, the Gentle Minions meme, they did very well in the box offices. This is kind of crazy.
Oh, so 12 more Minions films? Oh boy, I can't wait.
More Minions films coming directly to your chip in your
35
brain.
Netflix series. Minions Netflix series.
Here we go.
17 seasons.
Here we come.
This is the one too that had Gru like actually in it
Yes.
this time, right? Okay, well that probably
Yep.
helped.
It was also during the 4th of July weekend, so like people had spare time to just go out and see the movies. But there was a really big.
Is the Minions movie the new Independence Day?
I guess.
New
New Will Smith Day.
But there was a meme online, the Gentle Minions meme. Did you see that floating around?
I heard about it, but
People would
tell
go
me
to the
more, Riddle.
theaters and dressed up in their nice suit and tie, and they'd attend the theaters all dressed up. This became such a problem that people were starting to be banned and barred from theaters based on what they were dressed up as. So if you saw someone dressed up as a suit and tie going to see Minions movies, some people were actually turned away.
Wait, but why? What were they doing? If they dressed up in a suit and tie, then what?
They would take pictures and they would watch the movie, but I guess they didn't want the attention, like the theaters, or they thought something untoward was going to happen. Like I never heard any reports of like bad behavior happening, so it was like just people just freaking out. Oh no, it's a meme. We got to stop it.
Some kind of meme we have to
Oh
stop.
no, there's people in suits. It
Oh my
must be
God.
We
bad.
don't want Morbius again,
I mean,
but Morbius failed.
you think you would want the meme attention, though. That's what gets people to... Like, okay, all right.
Maybe for like the film theater, like not
Companies?
for like the big companies,
Uh-huh.
but not the individual film theaters. They probably don't want that individual attention.
Yeah, they do. They make money.
I know they. Okay, that's probably true.
Yeah, they make money off. No, companies, especially Japanese companies, they're brain dead always. They do things that make them. They don't understand that people like memeing on their shit is how they become popular and how they make money. And they always do this thing where we gotta shut it down if anyone's having fun. And it's like, what is wrong with you people? Every time they always do this. They're like school teachers that ban Pokemon cards for no reason other than that it's popular. You know what I mean?
You can't like this. I know what you mean. Like, you can't like this thing. You only can like things in the way that I want you to like them.
I guess. Well, the reasons were always so dumb. Like, it'll distract kids during class. It's like, well, if you see kids playing Pokemon cards in the middle of class, then take their cards away or whatever. But don't ban them altogether, because I guarantee you most people aren't. Well, you know what?
Did this personally happen to you, Kothorix?
Did I ever get I got my magic.
Is that his traumatic backstory?
My traumatic backstory. I did get my magic cards taken once, but I went to a Christian school, so it was kind of expected.
Yeah. Those bastards.
Good.
Yeah.
Stop that witchcraft.
They're really, everything is the devil. I guess it didn't help that I actually had a white-black deck, so half the cards were angels and half the cards were demons, basically. So I'm sure that...
So one was sacrilegious and one was demonic.
I guess. But if that's the thing, is like they just... I remember there was one card, it was a black card called Disembowel, and it showed like a monster getting its guts ripped out. And they were like, Disembowel, do you know what this means? Like, yes, I know what it means.
It explains it on the card.
It explains it on the card. Hey, look, there's a picture of it too. No, it was really stupid. Well, I hate society, but I guess we'll get into that later.
But we live in one.
Riddle, before we move on, do you want to tell the audience about that one thing that your mom did?
That one.
Concerning
Oh,
Pokemon?
well, that's not really any kind of like. But yeah, my mom decided to sell all my Pokemon cards to buy boxes to move across the country. So that was fun. Like, I don't know. Right now they have been worth like, thousands of dollars, and now it's they sold it for like $20 or something to buy it. Some cardboard boxes.
That's fun.
So, yeah, big fun. That's big fun.
I'm gonna sell my collection one of these days. I have a big collection of Pokemon cards. I think probably worth about $2,000, but I'll probably get half that.
Right, and this is just how it works.
Yeah,
there's only like a couple chase cards, and that holds value, and then that's that.
Yeah, well, that's all the cards because I played.
It's like they're making money. The corporations are tricking us to make money.
I mean, yeah, like depending on like how many boxes you buy, and then you turn around and hopefully you want to make a profit out at the end, and you're not really going to do that. But it's the idea that you're going to get the Charizards or the Blastoids.
That wasn't really what it was for me. I played the game really, so I bought cards to play, and I played from the year it came out, the card game came out, until
base set
like 2007.
Wow, that's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
I was only in it until like Johto started, and then when Johto started, I kind of got priced out because of the dark energies and the rainbow energies.
Oh yeah,
those became very expensive and like required because you had to run the Sneasel deck.
Riddle, we should do a Pokemon episode.
The Sneasel beat up.
Like
yeah, Sneasel beat up.
Exactly what deck you're talking about. It was us.
Yeah, but that deck run Ref Shot, and the only way to beat it was with another Sneasel deck.
Sneasel Slowking?
Better.
Slowking, so they couldn't evolve. Yeah. That's what it was. Sneasel Slowking, right?
No, Slowking would make it so you couldn't use trainer cards, and trainer cards was like a third of your deck.
What was the card that made it so nobody could evolve their Pokemon?
Aerodactyl was an inclusion in Haymaker, but
all right, we're getting
it's kind of niche.
Autistic with old Pokemon decks.
Yeah, I was about to try to pull you guys back. But what's the other? Is that
I got one harkening back to the past. It's not really news; it's more like history. That
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good
Good
mix up.
mix-up.
Dealing with Disney, Disney's known for doing things that are kind of bad. Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
And so what happens is the artists and the animators will go on strike, and like this is not like a new thing. Disney had always had a history of people going on strike whenever Walt does bad practices, like dating back all the way back to the 1940s with Dumbo and Bambi. And their movies were halted because the animators went on strike. They had this. Let's see what happened. Sorry, I'm kind of waffling here. I try to. I don't exactly remember why they started.
Okay,
striking.
Wait. So what's the story?
Oh, that should be more of a me question, but I also don't remember what specifically they were striking about besides wages.
Yeah. Well, Disney's always had a history of whenever they do something bad that they will get in trouble by their team, and how they get resolved is the workers rise up and they start striking. So this is like we've seen in the news recently about how Disney would get in trouble. The animators walk the don't say gay bill, and then the animators walk out. So this isn't necessarily a new thing. This is harking back to like times in the past.
Okay, so what's the story?
Again.
Disney animators are on strike because they can't be gay.
No, this was a little while ago. The don't say gay bill.
I have no idea what that means.
It was a big deal about how teachers could not talk about homosexuality or anything revealing anything about sexuality between like kindergartners to about I think it was the 4th grade.
And this was a problem for people?
I don't remember. It was something like that.
Well, yes, because because how like draconic the laws were. Like if it becomes very difficult to discern what is talking about sexual behavior and whatnot. The ambiguity of the bill was such that if you had a gay teacher, you could never talk about anything in your personal life for fear of for the schools being sued. How the protections worked was like parents were allowed to sue the schools if they thought that their children were introduced to sexual things in any kind of capacity between the grades K through the 4th grade, and any mention whatsoever could give parents the rights to sue the school.
Okay.
And so, and because of that, because a lot of the work in Florida, a lot of the Disney animators work in Florida. They staged a strike. That was the one.
Oh, God, this is so confusing.
I mean, not to get off track, but I'll simplify it because I know this part better. So, Disney supported a politician that supported this bill, and then that got discovered by the general masses, and Disney has a lot of LGBTQ plus people, obviously, because creative field. So all of them were speaking out.
So, so the Disney animators went on strike because Disney supported a politician that said you can't teach kindergartners how to be gay.
K through 3rd.
Essentially, but it wasn't just the animators, it was like everyone in the company. Okay.
Everyone in the company, well, they can replace them. I mean, it is Disney, so...
Yeah, I don't know what the fallout of that was. I just know that they went on strike.
Probably not. I don't think strike means anything these days, because labor is devalued. They'll just fire everyone and hire new people, because no one has a job.
I think that's kind of frowned upon, hiring scabs. That's what like companies would usually do when people locked out, is they hire scabs.
Is it illegal, though?
But
is it illegal to hire scabs?
No, it's not.
Okay,
it's
then
not
they're
illegal to hire scabs. I know, but you have to fight for your rights, or else like the reason that we have weekends or a 40-hour work week is because workers in the past have they go on strike and they work for workers' rights. So and they probably didn't even see any kind of change in their lifetime, but not doing anything just maintains the status quo. So advocating for your workers' rights is kind of important.
I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the the people going on strike. I'm just saying, like, it's not going to accomplish anything.
Oh, maybe not in their lifetime, but it's important that these things get done. Like it's not just, you know, as people would say, people crying or this. Look at these people. What are they doing? I'm kind of waffling here.
Okay, is that all? So you're saying the original story was just there was an anniversary of a Disney strike?
Yeah, that was basically the story that was going on.
Wait, so it didn't even happen. That it's just an anniversary of a strike.
Well, the other thing happened, but that was like relatively recent. That was like 6 months ago.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
something
totally
like that.
lost, but that's okay.
That's okay, Corey.
Disney employees strike have a history of striking, so I think he's talking about the 1940 strike. So something like that. Anyway, I guess we can move on. So Riddle,
Yes, I will. So this
questions,
is
right?
what we're going to start on. It's
Okay.
how to survive the internet. So, Kothorix, you have a history with the internet and how it has kind of interpreted things you said in the past in maybe not the most charitable light. And well, we don't want to probably go off too negative at first. So, have you had positive interactions with like the general audiences of people online? It's like, what are some of the pros of like being a YouTuber that make you want to just do it again the next day? Doesn't make you want to just quit? Like, what are some of the silver lining?
Well, okay, so when I was a kid, the idea of like working in a, I don't know, even like an office job, but more so like a physical labor, like hauling wood for 8 hours a day or some shit like that. That terrified me. So I was like, I'm gonna play video games when I grow up, and then I did that.
Every child's dream.
Yeah,
and you made it.
And I did that. So it's kind of like, oh, you can do this. Like it's an option to play video games, for a living. And so that's good. I would rather be playing video games than any of the other jobs that I've had. Because I've done some shitty jobs.
Oh yeah, like I work in the warehouse now, so like, you know, summer's here, so sitting in the 90 to 100 degree weather, it sucks.
I was about to say, like, when he was mentioning like shitty jobs, I'm like, oh right, like Riddle.
Yeah,
job,
like
right?
my job. That's what I do.
How fun! Yeah, no, I worked at a Walmart and I stacked boxes in the heat, pulling them out of trucks. And the back of those trucks, it's like 140 degrees. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I know that. So
no fun, no fun, no breaks, no fans.
Yeah, no fans.
So you
don't even have any the other type of fans, Riddle.
We need more fans. So you've had like positive interactions with people online, correct? Like you got to collab with people and talk with people that you otherwise wouldn't if you weren't, you know, an online personality. Is that correct?
Yeah, but like I've had good experiences with people. It's not all bad. I just generally, because I'm kind of a I don't know what the word would be, but people have described me as having old man energy. So since I'm kind of a grumpy old man, I generally don't like interacting with people to begin with. So just keep that in mind. That like
don't
shades everything that I say.
Yep, our last guest was a person named Lyle Convoy, and he does have like old internet dad vibes, and he comes from the same boat as you.
Isn't that because he is old?
Well, he's not older than me. He's like only a year older than me. I'm not old man.
Really? I thought he was
no,
like
he's in his 30s.
Serious old man energy.
Oh wow, okay.
We're not that old.
No, he just sounded like he does sound like a dad, and you don't really. So
I gotta work on that dad voice.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that deep dad voice. Tell the kids to get off your lawn.
Everyone can call me daddy now. All right.
Okay, that's where we end the podcast.
Good night, everybody. All right. So you've had positive interactions, but like we're going to focus a little bit on the negative now. So
just like I usually do.
Not always, but yeah. Like you've had like some interactions with people online. You know, they make memes. You can find groups of people that don't really like you, that you get degraded, and this is and like you got like a contingency of hate watchers. How did it make How did that like make you feel when you like you realize that there's these people out there now, and like you try to create something, and then all of a sudden like bam, there's these people now that just hate your guts just because you made a thing.
Well, a lot of the things that people, I guess that generated notoriety are and I guess notoriety works, but infamy, I guess. With a lot of things that generated infamy for me was like kind of my own creation. Like I knew that it would. That's
Right.
kind of why I did it, because when you make things that shock people, they get views, and that was something I tried for a while, was just making videos that just like with titles that would just shock people for views, and it worked really well. One of my videos got over 1 million views, and that was
Yep. This is like the era. This is like the era of YouTube with like Filthy Frank and
yeah.
let's see, what's another one that the content cop.
Yeah, it was
You
a
know,
different
like
era.
the 2000
It certainly was a different era. It was.
So shocking thing.
This was not
like shocking content.
unusual to have shocking content, but people don't really think about that or remember that when they look back at like screenshots of old video titles and stuff that I had. But anyway, so yeah, the point is to generate like infamy and notoriety, and people get mad, but it's okay, because like, yeah, it sucks that people are like, they say like nasty things to you, and like 9 out of 10 times it doesn't bother me, but then sometimes people are pretty adept. I think humans are pretty adept at like finding ways to try to get under each other's skin, try to make each other like suffer psychologically. So there's definitely some things that people said to me that did really bother me. And just the I got kind of unlucky, I think, because I don't know what it's just, a lot of YouTube is like luck. Did somebody popular hear about you or tweet about you or something? So you get most of my videos at that point were getting maybe like 20,000 views, and then suddenly someone tweeted about something I did, and it got like 300,000 comments or retweets or something, and that was like a big like kind of like brought the brunt of the internet down on me. So that was like kind of sucked. But
that does, and we'll get into that later. The with something called in psychology positive hurting, which is if some post has positive feedback, like a like, then more people will be more likely to jump on that like bandwagon.
Yeah.
Even if they don't even know what the topic's about, they don't even read anything about it. They'll jump on because they want to be a part of the herd.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry. Let's see. So we've had KP, you've had some kind of similar thing with the internet, correct?
Yeah, I mean, in case you don't know, I've been making content for around like 8 or 9 years at this point. So I've been kind of around the block, and for the most part, like especially like the first 4 years, 3, 4 years, it was fine. Like I would get, just general people being dumb and you ship Flutter, you don't like me shipping Fluttercore, even though it's a joke, like those kind of things,
Right.
which I ignore.
They can't tell the difference between the joke and
but-
reality, and they.
Oh yeah, they don't understand like we play up our personalities,
Right.
And that's what you do
format,
online is we all have like these personalities we elevate in our content.
Right. What's else? I mean,
everyone has their mask.
It's scripted. It's not like these things are thought out to some degree, right? Okay, I'm gonna get this kind of reaction if I make this video. That's the kind of thing you think about. So it's not like
yeah. So it wasn't until like my fun harassment campaign, which like also, wasn't my fault because there wasn't any communication that I was receiving. It was just through other third-party ways of, just people not knowing how to be honest in a group environment.
Communication is really hard online.
So yeah, it is. So, and that's why we still do calls on the team now, just to hopefully help reduce some of that miscommunication, especially because when you're giving tasks out to people and they require different programming knowledge, then it can get complicated as far as who's doing what, and the creative flow of it too, is a mess.
Yeah, these are
Anyway,
like
so
business
yeah.
management skills, which I think a lot of YouTubers need to kind of dive into, because it gets into some things like what happens if someone makes a false accusation or a baseless accusation against you. Like business school actually go over like what steps you take to deal with these things.
Yeah. And the biggest mistake I made during it, and I said this in my own canceled video, is just not addressing it or not addressing the truth when I had it. I thought it was just easier to not bring it up again, and hopefully it would go away. But it didn't really go away, and not in the sense that like most people just didn't care about it anymore. But other people would just bring it up in circles and like just be like, "Oh, KP's here at this con. Did you hear about KP? She, murdered those puppies." And I'm just like, so because there was no confirmed source out information, then the public was just trying to figure out what was happening, and they were just didn't have anywhere to turn. So that led them to people who were making stuff up, and then they believe you're more likely to hear you're more likely to believe the first thing that you hear as far as like about a new topic. So it was a mess, but I learned my lesson about making sure people have source information.
I guess. I mean, I would almost say the opposite. I don't think there... Well, okay, so I don't think there is a right answer, first of all. I don't think there is a correct thing to do. If people get this, taste of blood in their mouth, they just go after you forever. There's nothing you can really do about it. But because I had the opposite experience where I did engage people with, like, trying to tell them... I don't know how to word this, but like tell them the my side of the story or like the truth about things or whatever, and that just fueled the fire more. And it seems like when I watch other people do that, and no matter what they do, it fuels the flame. So there's no right answer.
Well, when we're handling with people online, this is going to sound really bad, so don't clip us. But you're not really talking with a person, you're talking with the psychology of humanity.
Right.
You're dealing with people subjecting themselves to herd mentality, while at the same time they de-individualize themselves because they're on the internet. So like you can see this happening with people like in cars and getting road rage, that they're de-individualized, and they're through a little shield of anonymity, they'll be like, "Screw you, old lady, for driving 5 miles under the speed limit," and like think like just such horrible thoughts about them, just even if it's just a mild inconvenience.
Yeah, well, people also love drama, and they like to have targets to kind of like throw misery at.
I mean, I think back to your original point, it's on a case by case basis, because this was someone slandering me, like some big entity slandering me, versus individual conflicts. Like he said, she said, kind of things are harder to control, because it's very opinionated. It's much more opinionated.
I guess I don't know. I just like a lot of the videos that I've made are, since I don't even want to say this, part of the furry community, I guess.
Yeah.
We caught him.
Since
Someone called the furry police.
Associated with the furry community, I guess I'll say I've made lots of videos about furries, and furries are like pretty notorious for making a big deal out of nothing. Like somebody, I don't know, does anything, and then there's 1,000 posts about it and how they're a terrible person for whatever reason. And I've made videos kind of like debunking some things and being like, he wasn't even there that day, and talking about this stuff and just seeing people's reactions. And it's like, people don't care. They don't care. They'll once they get the taste of blood in their mouth, that's all they want is more blood.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't really stop those kind of people, but I guess the people who are just
yeah, well, the reasonable people will look into it. So yeah.
Yep. When it comes to bandwagon, like studies show only like 5% of the people will actually take the time to look into what's going on.
Yeah. It's actually one of the reasons that my community for my content is so good now is because it's made up almost entirely of people who have enough sense to like look into things a little bit. So
Yep. You had your purge, and now you don't have
the big purge. Yeah.
Yeah. You had your Emperor Lemon unsubscribe saga.
Well, I had a Discord with like 4,000 people in it, and then now my Discord is like 200 people in it. But I hated everyone in the 4,000 Discord, and now there's like in the small Discord I like pretty much all of them. There's some people that are like
I was there,
a little annoying, but I was
there at the beginning of the Discord.
Yeah.
I was there at the beginning of the Discord. It started off with like only like 30 people, and then you made it public.
Uh-huh.
And then it is ballooned up with just people just misbehaving because you have just such a huge community.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's
it was crazy.
I was gonna say, Riddle, were you? So I guess you were the OG.
I wasn't the OG. There was people before me for sure. Like let's try like a Horse MD Dragon. He was definitely there before me. Maybe the Yoshi guy. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Yoshi's been around for a long time.
Yeah, Yoshi's like old. He's been since the dawn of time. Yep. Sorry, I'm kind of meandering here. So to get back a little bit on track. So when we're dealing with people online, we're not really dealing with like,
humans,
like necessarily rational people, but people that are a part of a herd,
creatures with lobes.
But I think it's important to like it's not to disregard them, but like there's some things that we can do is which is like in business training is like when it comes to like accusations, like there's some basic things you can do is like, for one, stay calm, because losing your temper will just it's just an admission of guilt.
No, you should argue with people on Twitter about it all day.
Yeah.
So you should definitely do.
That is the exact opposite of what you need to do, people. Because that just makes things worse. It creates more issues. You should ask questions about the allegations so you can actually understand them. And just by asking questions, you can actually like maybe change people's minds, because they'll have to ask themselves why they're angry at you instead of like just doing what a YouTuber said or what a tweet said.
Hold on.
Try to deconstruct. What
did you just say? To try to figure out why they're angry with me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth thinking about.
Well, it's important not maybe not the individual, but like to understand the accusations themselves, so you can actually address them.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Instead of like, because you might not necessarily know what people are saying until you actually like get involved in the conversation.
People are angry at you because they get bullied at school, and trolling people online is the only outlet they have.
Exactly.
So it's not worth thinking about too much.
Yeah, and there's also some things you should never do, like you should never apologize online. That never works. Because
I guess I apologize if I think I've done something wrong. I don't let people try to force me to apologize. I think about it a lot and try to think if I've actually done something wrong, or if they're just trying to get me to apologize to bow down to their ideologies, which is usually what it is. So I would say don't apologize if the apology is just to bow
you're being coerced into
their ideologies. But I think for your own sake, you should apologize if you think you've actually done something wrong. You've done something against your own ideology.
Yeah, there's some egregious things you can apologize for, that if you think you did think something wrong yourself, but you should probably not, kowtow to every accusation against you, because it's just an admission of guilt, even if it's not true. Because people will just admit to things so they can just get something over with. But it just doesn't help.
Here's a quick pro tip for all you gamers out there. When somebody accuses you, someone with like a little furry avatar accuses you of some egregious thing, just draw some porn of their character and reply with that.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh dear. So KP, like when eventually you did you decide to resolve your issues with people online, like how did you go about doing that exactly? Like how did you Did you want to like make it like a very good like thought out argument? Did you like how did you go about it?
Well, it's very case by case for everyone. I think because at the end of the day, my rationality was that this is a public thing that had public consequences. So the people who were involved, at least some of them, didn't want to admit publicly to
The things they did.
yeah, basically to the things they did, the bad things they did. Which I was basically gaslit to think, oh, you're just bringing up old stuff that no one needs to be brought up again. Oh, like it's not worth it. But the reality is, I'm the victim. I get to choose what I tell people and what I don't tell people about the things that happen to me. And I'm sorry if that makes you look like an asshole on the internet, but maybe just don't be an asshole on the internet. It's just that simple.
We can dream. We can dream.
As far as making like a big public like anthology about it, kind of thing. Sorry, my roommate is doing knocking. I was like, it kind of made me lose my train of thought. But it was just knowing that I was just tired of being told that, I thought I was doing the right thing by just not addressing it, but it just made it worse and it just never went away. And, as far as the dumb people thinking they know what happened, what a situation is and acting on that limited information. I was just tired of being harassed because, other people are essentially harassing me and spread misinformation. So,
do you both do these days get harassment from day to day?
Yeah.
I don't get nearly as much. But there's always a mean comment.
Yeah, pretty much every time I stream, I get at least one person coming in there trying to harass me, but I really just see them as like kind of brain dead. Like you're gonna harass me about like a title of a video from like 5 years ago. Like, okay, like think of something better to say than think of something, I don't know, clever or something. I don't know, just like who does that? Like, you have like nothing better to do. But it doesn't really matter anyway, because every time you get a comment or even like a dislike or someone clicking on your videos or streams, that's still giving you more interaction, which boosts your how the algorithm presents your stream or videos to others. So they're really just helping you.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. You kind of subscribe to that?
Yeah, I don't know about that entirely, but it's definitely good to. It definitely doesn't really hurt you for people to leave when they think they leave a big long rant on your video, and it's like, oh, well, it doesn't hurt you. You could just not read it, and they still interacted with your video in some way. So that's what gets you.
And YouTube likes that.
Yeah, YouTube likes that. YouTube shows people your videos more often when they leave big long rants about how much they hate you.
Oh, YouTube. We need to fix YouTube. How do we fix YouTube?
Burn it.
Good.
Well, realistically, it needs an actual competitor for Google to be enticed to get their shit together. But until that day comes, then Google is a monopoly and they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
We need to break up monopolies.
Yeah, generally.
Mm. Oh, he said something that I wanted to respond to, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh, yeah.
Monopoly.
No, you just, like, it sounds like you're stressed out about people harassing you or people think something bad about you, but you have to, like, learn to not care. I mean, like, actually not care, not just, like, I don't care, but, like, crying underneath it. But you have to, like, actually learn to not care, like, because...
disassociate your feelings from the online masses.
Just be this is a very human thing to, like, be upset about how other people think about you, but it's like so stressful and it doesn't matter.
Well, I guess to rephrase that, like once you're a YouTuber, you're a public figure, I guess, in some regard, And some people can handle people criticizing their work and other people can't. And if you can't, then maybe being a YouTuber isn't the right career path for you, you know? But I don't think people think about it that way. I think they just think, oh, it'll be fun to be famous online. And I'm just
No,
like,
it's pretty miserable.
It's actually
It's
not
work.
that fun a lot
Yeah.
of
Well, I mean,
time.
one of the best things that happened to me actually is getting canceled because there was a period in time where I was getting pretty popular. Some of my videos were getting, 100,000 or more views. My channel was growing pretty fast. And so that brought on a lot of stress in a lot of different ways.
A lot of obligation.
A lot of obligation. Yeah, definitely trying to try to maintain that, trying to make a new video every week. That's really stressful. Trying to always think
Right.
of, I mean, that's part of the reason why I made some of the videos I did, because it's like, I got to make something. I got to make something that gets views. I got to maintain this momentum. That's really stressful. And it kind of, so
you become enslaved by your art.
enslaved to your art. Yeah. And then after being canceled and things calmed way down, and videos I do now get like a couple thousand views, but then it's like I'm like okay with that, It's like you'd think it'd be like, at first all I wanted was more views, more clicks, but then
More power.
But then it's like now it's like, what if you think even if like 1,000 people watch your video, that's still like 1,000 people liked that thing. That's so many people.
Yeah, like you imagine the 1,000 people in one room.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
that's so many people that it like the thing. That's worth creating. I think even if like a couple dozen people liked a thing that you did, think about like going to any like
a convention
or any
and having
personal in-person meeting, and there's like even a couple dozen people or like even like 100 people there that like the thing you do, like it's worth doing just for like 100 people, and so when you think about it like that, it's like wow, 1,000 people like me, or 2,000, 5,000. It's like that. Those numbers are crazy. Like when you think it's like almost unfathomable to me that like 100,000 people would watch my videos. Like that's crazy. But it's like kind of,
that's the population of my entire town.
it's kind of like beyond meaning at that point, Yeah. So the smaller. What I'm getting at is the smaller group is like it feels more meaningful.
You actually have a community.
You have a community,
and not just a mass.
Fucking random assholes. The other thing about having a huge amount of people is that they're very fickle. You might get a bunch of people, and then you see it all the time with like especially the really big YouTubers where they say something and then like 10 million people unsubscribe from their channel overnight, and it's just like these people are so fickle. Like, really? Because like some random asshole said one thing about that person, and it's just like, it's so meaningless. Those big numbers are so meaningless.
Fair weather fans.
Yeah, those big numbers are just so meaningless. They're just nothing. So it really is better with the smaller community.
KP, since your community got smaller, have you like felt that it's been a little bit more comfortable for you and not so much pressure on you?
I guess. I mean, like my goal is to, grow it at this point, but I think it's also about rebranding to general animation, which has taken time. And, and obviously, like once you get pretty bad trauma from the internet, like everything else is just like, I'm over it. I don't like, why am I pushing myself for these people who, or, for something that, caused me a lot of pain at one point. So, it's getting better, and the in-person conversations and stuff are very helpful for me because I'm like, oh, everyone's nice and they actually exist.
A little bit of accountability,
as far as
without just being behind like an avatar and some words on the screen.
Yeah, and that's why I try to keep convention appearances in my like sphere of things I'm doing, because it recharges my creative batteries. So I'm just like, oh, okay, well, people are liking the thing, and like my goals are to make the channel bigger, but not because it will feed my ego. It just, it can be fun sometimes.
And speaking of creativity and ego, let's talk about art. So
Art.
KP, you are actually in art school right now, correct?
Yeah, I'm working on. Well, I'm not really working on it. I'm just kind of taking classes for now to get a job. If I end up getting a degree, great. If I get a job first, that's probably better. But yeah, I went back to art school recently. It's been slow. It was slow last year because my dog died, and then my
Right.
parents are
So
a
you
whole
are in
thing.
the
So, but
inside
yeah,
track when it comes to like traditionally learning art, correct? And
yeah.
Kothorix yourself, you're kind of an outside artist, correct? Like you're self taught.
Self-taught, yeah. But self-taught really just means watching lectures of from art schools, but you pirated them instead of paying.
Right.
So there's not much of a difference really.
Not much of a difference, really. So how do you go about, like, because you both do art on the regular, correct?
Yep, I draw every day.
Mhm.
You draw every day, and KP, I've seen you do art before on the regular as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I probably don't. I mean, that will probably increase obviously when I start the new semester
Yeah,
in
you just
September.
posted
But
something recently,
right now,
so
I probably
you're still doing your art.
yeah. Oh yeah, I draw like every couple of days or so.
Yeah. So what keeps you motivated just to do it like on the day to day? Is it like, is there like an
Well,
intangible goal, or is it just because you have ideas and you want to see them realized? Like, what is it?
well, for me, it's a little bit of the first one, but also once you train yourself to draw every day or draw as much as you can, then it kind of becomes a habit for you to just draw anyway if you're bored or want to decompress or
Right.
something like that. So they trick you. So that's kind of
How about you,
it too.
Kothorix? Like, what gets you motivated to draw your special drawings?
My special drawings, my furry porn. Motivation is a lie. I don't think I've ever been motivated to draw. I want to be an artist, so I draw every day, and I think that's just what you have to do. You don't have to. If you wait to be motivated, you'll never draw.
What's your idea of an artist? Like, when do you think like I made it?
When you have when you have a good understanding of the fundamentals, when you feel like I don't know, you definitely get to a point where you've been practicing drawing things in perspective for like weeks, and then you're like, oh, I understand perspective. Okay, mark, check that off the checklist. So once you do that with all the fundamentals, I think that's when you are like, okay, I can draw anything now.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about like knowledge and like a goal, like when it comes to me, like I'm bad at art, but I still try to do it just for the fun of it. But I always have a general idea, but I never stick to an idea in my head. Like I have like maybe a concept of what I want to make, but I never really like actualize it on a piece of paper. I see where a subject's going, and then I just keep on going with it instead of trying to make it something that's not. Do you have like a process when it comes to creativity or creating something?
Oh, a process? Oh, sorry. My process to create something. I usually just.
It's like you have an idea. Do you try to actualize it how you think it is in your head, or do you just like have like a vague concept and you try to just make it look nice?
Well, it's hard for me to come up with ideas myself because everything is a potential thing to draw. So what I do is I take a lot of joy in drawing things for friends, like their characters or whatever. So I just I talk to friends I have and I ask them to tell me, like I'm doing a commission almost, like tell me exactly what to draw, and then I'll draw that thing, and I do that a lot.
Right. Yep, I do that too, but like even within the ask, there's always room for interpretation, and how it's going to turn out. So you have to like come up with like where the like location, subject, pose, all those kind of things. I'm not really a professional in artistry, but I try to like have these ideas in mind. KP, when it comes to your art, like let's see.
Same question.
Well, I think I've already asked you the base question, but I'm trying to go on from this. What kind of process do you go through when it comes to like You have an idea, or do you ask people what they want? Do you do things for you?
Well, for just keeping in mind that I do a lot of different. I have a lot of different creative outlets. That's what I meant to say. So I have a lot of different creative outlets. So it just kind of I'm naturally someone who's very motivated to do the things that they want to do. Hence, like why I'm in art school after I already have another degree and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, do you want to be a showrunner? And I have my show characters in my head that I just want to draw because like my brain won't shut up and like what do you do? How about this one? This might be cute. What about this? So that and then it's either that or just if I'm watching something or I'm thinking about something, I'm like, oh, what if no one's ever talked about this before. Or what if this was a fun creative idea? So that's how I get, either my scripted videos or just general projects, that kind of thing as far as things that are interesting to me. So I guess it's mostly for me and everything else just kind of falls into place. Like, I am, I do conventions now, so it is technically a business now. So I like to treat everything like a business, but at the same time, like if I feel like doodling my OCs or whatever, if that's the driving factor, it's also something to note. I've been trying to be better about listening to like my body and trying not to push myself too hard as far as just doing things. So sometimes drawing will be easier to do, like just sketching will be easier to do than writing a script. And sometimes it's just a chill day where you just go on your phone and play mobile games for a little bit, that kind of stuff. But I guess
Yep.
it
Speaking of
depends how
art
I'm
and
feeling.
health, like how's your wrist doing, Kothorix?
I've never had problems with my wrist.
Really? Like even about the years of World of Warcraft.
Years of World. No, I think I've always just. I don't know if people do things differently than me when it comes to like, the way that they are positioned on their desk, but I think I just,
You just didn't have problems.
I've never had problems with my wrist, even after years of drawing every day and playing World of Warcraft. I think because one thing I do is I push my keyboard and mouse all the way up so that they are as far away from me as possible, and I have my entire arm, resting on the desk, even with the keyboard and the mouse. And I don't know, that's what I do. I don't know if people do it like that or they do it differently or whatever, but that's what I do because when you play first-person shooters, you move with your entire arm, not your wrist.
Not your fingers.
Yeah, so that's why I do that, and I've always done it like that. And I've never had wrist problems.
Take care of your wrist, so that might help people that have wrist problems. Is rest your arm, not rest on your wrists.
Yeah, rest on your elbow.
I'll just butt in too because I have experience with this a little bit. So sometimes my wrist gets sore, and that just depends like between using computer and drawing and stuff like that. So I have wrist brace that I use every once in a while. If I am drawing, I use a wrist brace just to help prevent problems. And then when I'm doing conventions, I have a drawing like an artist glove with the two fingers on the end, like the pinky and the one next to the pinky. I don't know. As well as the wrist brace finger. Because when I'm it's the ring finger anyway. So I'll use an artist glove as well as a wrist brace when I'm doing conventions because that's when I'm drawing like all day, and by all day I mean like 10 hours straight. Depending on what people are ordering. If it is a busy day, that's how Riddle, you saw me at Everfree the last time we went, where I was just drawing all day, and I only finished my list of commissions at like 10 p.m. before we were going to bed.
I remember some of them were on the next day while we were setting up.
Yeah, some of them had to be on the next day because I was just like, which has never happened. I never get so busy that I'm working till 11 p.m. on commissions, but I don't mind. But at some point, you gotta draw the line. I usually finish my commission work by the end of the closing haul. Anyway,
I hope you could draw a line. To be honest, if you can draw.
I hope so too. So oh god. Anyway, so the artist club is traditionally for people that are drawing on tablets who don't want to feel like the glass of the tablet against them. But I find since you're leaning on, your pinky and your ring finger pressure point wise throughout the day, that they're going to get all bruised and jacked up if you don't have some kind of protection on them. So if you plan on drawing for a very long period of time, that's usually what I would do. So, and also it helps keeps your hands all clean so that you don't get like lead on them when you're leaning on shit on your art. So that
Right.
also helps.
Take care of your hands for more important things like playing video games and what yeah.
World of Warcraft, right?
So let's see. Anything else you want to talk about when it comes to like art and creativity? Anything on top of you both of your heads? Because I'm about out of subjects.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna, something we could bring up is like how the art and the creativity ties to, producing YouTube content, because that seems like something that might be mutually relevant to the conversation.
The art of content creation.
Yeah.
So when it came to like formatting a video, like how did that process work for you when it came to just, you have an idea and do you just go off on it, or do you like have an idea and you try to like structure it into subjects and then you research those subjects? Like how did that all work
For me?
for both of you?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You can go first.
Well, I always script everything out and I think about it a lot. So yeah, it usually starts with an idea. Like my exact thing for making it. Now I haven't made like a real video in a while, so
Right.
mostly just because I don't really have motivation to. I don't really need to, in terms of like, I don't know, a creative outlet.
Money.
Well, money, but as in terms of like, I don't know, having a creative outlet, I just do it more with my art now than I do with YouTube.
Something
videos.
you really want to do.
Yeah, I just don't really want to make videos anyway. But when I did, so I would start out with a basic idea, like it might be things just in my head, things I don't like about going to restaurants or something, right? And then I would start writing down just little tidbits on a Google Docs sheet, just little things, and each one would be like a little just a little blurb about it, and then I would just kind of add on to all of those things and then organize them and add jokes and things in there that I thought were relevant, that I thought of over the course of like.
I always enjoyed your jokes. Like, are those like 2 a.m. kind of thoughts?
Yeah, it's exactly what they are. It's I have a Google Docs sheet open on a monitor at all times, and I just kind of randomly think of dumb little things, or through something I'm experiencing or watching other YouTube videos or something. I think, oh, that would make a good joke. If I tweaked that joke a little bit, it would like fit with this part of my script, and I could use something similar, or just, you randomly have little things you think of that are funny throughout the day when you're doing other stuff, right? And
Right.
And kind of just fill out a whole script with that kind of thing and organize it so it flowed well, and then I would just read it, and then visuals come after that. I don't really think about the visuals at all while I'm writing the script.
Right.
I don't know if that's
Yeah, you're much more like a person who just want to talk something out, and then secondary is just what's on screen, because at that point it's just like a PowerPoint. You just want to get the information out, more importantly than what kind of visual gag you can produce.
Yeah. I'm not really into the visual gag things. I like writing. Writing is really my strong point, I think.
Right. Too bad VTubers weren't a thing, because that probably helped you a lot back in the day. You just had a little avatar that would just dance around, because at the end of the day, you just want to have a PowerPoint with something that catches people's eyes.
I guess. Well, that's why I stream now, because I can just think of things and think of like little funny things to say while I'm.
And you can work off the people.
Oh.
Yeah. So KP, how about you? What's the process of you making like videos? Is it something similar? Do you have an idea and then you go off on it because you have a team as well, so you have people to actually bounce ideas off of?
Yeah, I mean that's helpful all throughout my creative process, but because I want to get my ideas out there fast, but I still really care. Like, the KP videos are an experience, quote unquote. So I always like, even down to like, I want to make sure the footage that we use is the highest quality available. I want to make sure that, if we have cutaway gags for specific things, I want to make sure that footage is good and not interlaced. And, if you don't know what that is, you can Google it. But as well as the jokes and the comedy and all that stuff landing, because in order to just make people care about the thing you're talking about, sometimes it helps if they are entertained by what you're talking about too, in a way that they don't need to be if they don't know the source material. So it's, I try really hard to make, entertaining content throughout, and I let I let the editors have their say as far as, adding their own jokes in there if they want to, kind of thing. But I know at the end of the day, like, and I think that was like a critique that people would have of me of making the pony content, as far as there was just too many cutaway jokes and that kind of thing, and they just didn't care about that, which is fair. So now with the newer content, we try to do more video essays that are also funny too.
Yep. There's like two
But yeah.
categories of content. There's passive content, which is like this right here. This is a podcast. Now, not really going a lot in the visuals. You just put it on the background and you listen to the voices and you play your video games in the meantime, or you do some other activity. And then you have active content, something that has to have 100% of your attention, and that's kind of like your area that you want to work in. Is that right, KP? You want to be like the active, like someone sits down and watches a program like they would a cartoon or something.
Yeah, and the other thing too, we've probably talked about it before at this point because we're like being in 70 shows or whatever, 70 podcast episodes. I bet you haven't listened to them all. I have.
You were there.
I was there. I was there, so that's cheating. But people have to remember that like we talked about earlier, like sometimes YouTubers will over exaggerate themselves because they are a personality. Versus, some people just want to make like not more passive content, but they are not like one of the centerpieces. And when I say centerpieces, I mean like a visual centerpiece, not like actual I'm the best part of the YouTubes. But but we still make content that I'm not in, that is just straight up like a narrative or straight up something like that. And like one of my learning experiences with the Despective project is putting my OC in there. People can't separate that from a separate narrative and myself and my personality that I should have just written with the original character, which is fine. I get that on hindsight. But anyway, yeah, so it's just about
so people
finding what you want to
people being confused for the character with the person. Like I bet you have problems with that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say
people see Blue Dragon and then they think that's you, and that's the character you portray is you.
Well, I mean, it's like the face that I use for like online interactions, but no, it's more about people have a really hard time understanding that the whole aspect of playing a character up for entertainment value. Like, I mean, there's been videos I've made where I was like screaming about what's something stupid like flavors of donuts or something.
Exercise.
Yeah. It's funny, we went to the same place. That was the exercise video where I was screaming about donuts. Screaming about donuts, and people put it on like Kiwi Farms.
Wow,
like, what an idiot yelling about donuts. Like, it's a video about like entertaining. It's supposed to be entertaining.
It's supposed to make you laugh.
It's supposed to make you laugh because I'm going nuts over donuts.
Something that's ridiculous.
Something ridiculous, yeah. But they're like brain dead. It's one of the reasons I don't make videos anymore. I feel like people don't really appreciate them. Like, really.
I was just going to say, like, I know sometimes I get blocked from, like, people that draw Fluttercord fan art because they automatically think that I personally have a vendetta against them for shipping reasons or whatever. But it's like they don't understand that I play that up on purpose.
You've mentioned this a few times. What are you talking about?
Fluttercord is a ship between Fluttershy from My Little Pony and Discord from My Little Pony.
And this is a
These
popular
characters.
thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, thanks for watching my videos, dude. No, but it's something I would play up because I didn't personally like the ship, and people would think I personally disapproved of them, and that kind of thing, because I would play up these jokes for comedy and stuff like
Oh,
that.
people take. Oh God, that's like. Here we go. Here we go.
Is that
Time
dumb?
to edit out Kothorix. I was just like, that's like pure autism. Like people getting mad because you disapprove of their shipping of like My Little Pony characters or making fun of it or whatever. That's like pure actual.
It is pretty
pure
crazy.
autism.
Yep, it is. The people are unable to tell the difference between a joke and a bit.
Well, yeah, but it's totally ridiculous to get mad because I disapprove of these two fictional characters in a relationship. That's really upsetting to me. You don't approve of Bowser and Sonic the Hedgehog gay ship. I'm really upset that you don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, you were a part of a dating sim. Did you get some kind of?
Oh, you're talking about Angel with Scaly Wings mod.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it was.
Yes.
Well, I guess that was the most popular mod for that game. So it wasn't official though.
Did you get people that? But did you get people upset? Like, I don't want to be shipped with Blue Dragon.
Yeah, well, the developers eventually removed that mod, so I think that is what happened. Is that people were upset?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Was in the game.
Yeah,
and it's funny too because that I have people tell me all the time that they really like that mod, so it's just funny.
So you don't make videos anymore, but where can people find you if they want to search online for you? Now you don't make videos, but you do streaming instead.
Oh, just on my YouTube channel.
Your YouTube channel, Kothorix?
Yeah, I think it's just called Kothorix. Unless I changed it again and forgot.
How do you spell that?
Kothorix.
And what times can they catch you streaming usually?
I usually stream weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, but not Wednesdays.
Right.
Sometimes Saturdays.
Right.
It's you just kind of gotta be hopeful that you'll catch me when I'm online.
Yep. Just try to make sure we can get your information out there. Plug your channel. Get you some more streamers. Maybe someone will stick around. They'll like seeing you.
He seems fine either way.
Sonic the Hedgehog or playing point and click adventure games.
I played Amorous recently. That was fun.
That sounds fun.
Furry dating sim, a very notorious furry dating sim because all the characters were written by furries who don't go outside, so the dialogue is very funny. It's very. We'll just say that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's very meme worthy. It's
very
a very
meme
worthy game.
Yeah,
so
very.
Yeah. So that's why that kind of Steam game kind of went a little crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So I really appreciate your time with us, Kothorix.
Thanks for having me.
And you were a very great guest. KP, you would like to add anything?
I have a new con announcement.
Oh, a new con announcement.
Woo. Yeah, so I haven't put this on any of my social media, so you guys are hearing it first. And by first, I mean,
We're looking into the future.
I'm recording it first. Yeah, whatever. So it just got confirmed like right at the end of the week, so I signed all the paperwork and stuff like that. But I will be at Wellsboro Comic Con in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, which is like right on the border of New York and Pennsylvania and the other one, I think New Jersey, something like that. The other one, it's fine. So it's a 2-day con. It's in like a really cute town area, like kind
small
of
small townish.
Botanical gardens, like hiking tours, playhouses, that kind of thing.
It's more of an outdoorsy convention.
It's in different places too. Like there'll be some of it.
It's like a town fair, right? Like it's just like a town party.
Yeah, but it's fancier than that. I mean, this is their first year doing it. They usually do like town festival kind of things, and now they're like, let's do a Comic-Con. So we'll see what happens. But from my understanding, it's kind of like a town festival kind of thing but it's comic.
Yeah, our town does something similar. It's like a music festival every February, where each of the businesses will have their space open for musicians just to play, and people can tour around in like this radius of businesses where they can just listen to music. It's kind of cool, and they have people over, and they'll get in guests and stuff. So it's really neat, and I hope to see you all there.
Yeah, I mean you won't be there, but
yes.
I mean,
I'll try.
You can be there if you want. You're not allowed, but I just assume,
Yeah.
you know.
So thanks very much for watching and listening to us, and I hope you all have a very great day or weekend or whenever.
See ya.
Yep. See you next time on the KP podcast.
Goodbye.
Show. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Animation Communication on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast provider. We are really hoping the show makes a difference in how people view animation as well as media as a whole, as well as giving and providing advice for people all over the world who like or want to join the animation and media industry. If you like what you heard, please remember to show support by giving a like, a follow, rating those 5 stars, as well as subscribing to our main I Love Kim Possible a Lot channel on YouTube, and turn your notification on. New episodes of Animation Communication come out every Wednesday at 6 a.m. EST on podcasting platforms and 4 p.m. EST on YouTube. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the KP Podcast for information about upcoming guests, episodes, and more, as well as our hosts, KP and Riddle, at I Love KP a Lot and at Riddle Lightning on social media. I'm Kat, and thank you for being part of our community. See you next time on Animation Communication.